So hello, welcome to the Zen Shin Academy. We're here at the EAT Dojo, and I have my really super awesome stick dummy back here, and I have a couple of these little rolls. You can see it's already, just whacking it a little bit and it bends, but rolls from like wrapping paper and things of that nature. I use those because why not? Anyway, I just got done with my 2 mile and I did not film it today. I've only filmed 5 of them so far. 3 of them are already waiting to be on my channel. I still have a couple more to edit and post. Right now, as of now, whenever this goes up, actually this has to go up in September, because the last 3 videos that I've got ready to go up are at the end of August, and it's the 2 mile walk 1, 2, and 3. So again, I still have 2 more of those walks to post. I don't really expect that they'll get a lot of views, but I don't expect any of my videos to get a lot of views. I'm still going to post them. So as I said before, when I do these 2 miles, I don't really generally, not always, but generally, I don't do them to get anything out of it other than a little bit of a workout, some time to myself to think and talk and express myself. That's when the videoing happens. And to a little bit physically challenge myself. But it's not really a physical challenge that I'm looking for, it's the mental challenge. I really like the mental challenge, because when I just walk it, 2 miles is 2 miles, and if I go decent, like if I'm videoing, I go pretty slow, and it takes me about a half hour, which is fantastic. Like I said, I'm not trying to break any records here. So I do 2 miles in about a half hour, and even when I'm briskly doing it, somewhere between 25 and 28 minutes is generally what I got out. Today, I decided that I wanted to really push myself, not mentally, but physically. I wanted to push myself. Which ends up being a mental push anyways, because without the mental push, your body's just your body. But I ended up doing the 2 miles in 22 minutes. So I jogged about a quarter of it, which is more than I jog any other times. I generally don't jog much of any of it. On occasion I do bits and pieces, but today I just wanted to really push myself both mentally and physically. So and again, 2 miles in 22 minutes isn't, by some people's standards, isn't really anything special. Now it pushed me. It pushed me physically, and it pushed me mentally, which is all I want. And again, I walked briskly, most of it, but there's that mental push that you get, especially when you're pushing yourself physically. Like when I decide I want to push myself physically, yeah, I'm pushing myself physically, but really what I'm doing is I'm pushing my mental capacity, not so much my physical. My physical body will do anything that my mind makes it do. Plain and simple. Your body isn't the issue. Your body will do whatever you have the mentality to make it do. Plain and simple. So it becomes more of a mental game. It becomes more of a mental push. I pushed myself to where I was tired. I pushed myself where I was physically aching. I pushed myself And all along, you know, you get out there, you get that first half mile in, you get that first mile in, and then you're like, okay, so, you know, there's no turning back. I would rather jump off the tallest mountain in the world without a parachute rather than turn around and go back. Plain and simple. I just don't have any quit in me when I put that to my mind, which is all mental. All of this is just all mental. So, and believe me, I'm mental. So anyway, I did push myself really hard today. Could have I pushed myself a little bit more? I think I could have. Absolutely. I think I could have pushed myself a little bit further. But I'm not looking to kill myself. I'm not looking to break any records. I'm not really looking to prove myself to anybody other than to myself. And I pushed myself quite hard enough, I think, today. And again, if anyone has not seen my videos or do not know my personal viewpoints, I do not stretch. I do not cool down. Not even before a jog or a brisk walk or anything like that. I just don't. My body is physically capable of doing anything my mind makes it do. I don't need to coax it into doing something. I tell it to do it and it will do it. Period. Now, I walked right out my sliding door and went right into a jog and did the jog for about a half a mile. And then I briskly walked most of the rest of it. Every once in a while I got a little spurt of a little jog in there, you know, an old man jog. Kind of more like a airborne shuffle for all of you paratroopers out there. I got a little bit of an airborne shuffle going on a little bit. So anyway, I pushed, I got through it, and I got back, and I don't know if you consider this a cool down, but when I got to my ending point, I didn't just stop and just walk into the house and fall to the floor or lay down or anything like that. I kind of did a little bit of a lap. You know, I walked a decent amount of the backyard back and forth a couple times just to kind of mentally let myself know that that part is over, and you know, I survived it and everything's cool. So mentally got myself mentally I told my body that was over. I didn't go through any stretching. I didn't go through anything like that. I did walk a little bit back and forth through the backyard just to kind of, and if you want to call that a cool down, I guess you can, but you know, I don't really consider that cool down. I didn't do any stretching. I didn't do anything like that. I never do. I came in, and just like I do any other time I go on these walks, I came in, I jumped in the shower, I got showered, again, mentally prepared myself, told my body that, you know, that was complete, mission accomplished. It's time to move on to something else and prepare to do whatever I'm going to do next. So I just truly believe, and I'll say for me, because this maybe or probably does not work for everybody, but everything, no matter what you do, no matter how physical, and as a matter of fact, I will say this, the more physical it is, or the more physical it appears, the more mental that it is and less physical. I really do think, you know, your body doesn't need, it's not your body that needs the sleep and the rest and all that. It's your mind that needs that. And if you control your mind, and if you get your mind in the right frame, or I shouldn't say the right frame because everybody's different, but you get your mind in your particular right frame, your body will do whatever you tell it to do. And that's when, the mental aspect really falls into place. Do you have the mental fortitude to make your body do something that you don't think it can do, or that other people don't think it can do, or maybe even you don't want it to do, but you have to do it? Do you have the mental fortitude to tell your body you're going to do it, and that's just all it's to it? Throughout my life, again, I don't want to pat myself on the back or anything, but I think that's one of the biggest things that I have going for me is truly, for me, a factual trueness is that I just don't have that mental quit in me. I will do what I feel I want to do, even if my body tells me it can't do it. I won't listen to my body. My body doesn't know what it's doing. My body doesn't know what it wants. My mind knows what it wants, and my body's just going to do it, and that's just the end of it. So the reason that I pretty much have done most everything that I've ever done, I've always wanted to jump out of an airplane. Truly, I never really thought I would have the opportunity to do it. So yeah, that's a good dream to have if you really don't think you're going to do it. That's a cool, that's something cool you can tell people, I want to jump out of an airplane, because, when's that opportunity really going to present itself, right? Well, opportunity presented itself for me a lot. Joined the Army, first thing I told them, I said, I'm going airborne or I'm not going. And, hooked me up. So, and I don't know how many of you have ever jumped out of an airplane. And those of you that have, how many of you remember your first jump? Yeah, I remember my first jump. Now, I will say this, the first jump's not nearly as bad as the second jump. The second jump's where it gets you. So, the first jump, you don't have enough of experience. You don't have enough of knowledge. You don't have really enough to know what's going on. I mean, you jump out that first time, total rush. I mean, honestly, it's a total freaking rush. But you just don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen. Now, you take that same person, because in jump school you jump 5 times in one day. 5 times in one day. So you take that same person that just jumped out of an airplane. They hit the ground. They pack you back up into the cattle car, drive you back to where you get back on the airplane, and you do that 4 more times in one day. All right, so that second jump, there's no excuses. The second jump, you know what's going to happen. You know exactly what's going to happen because you just did it. Half hour ago, you were floating through the air. So this time, now, your brain knows what's going on. And some people's bodies don't want to do it. Some people's bodies just don't have that in them. So your brain has to say, yes, you are. So I jumped out of 18 aircraft, and the reason I jumped out of 18 aircraft is because the only reason I didn't get number 19 was because I broke my ankle on number 18. So I've got 18 jumps. 18th one broke my ankle, and that was that for me. So anyway, mental fortitude. I get out of the Army. I get out in 95. The UFC hit, was it 92, 93, somewhere around there? I can't remember whether it was 92 or 93. But anyway, UFC came out in 92, 93. I'm out in 95. And oh, dude, that's what I want to do. I want to fight in a cage. Now, I never made it to the UFC. I was too old by then, but I still did it. I got into a cage many times, fought other people many times, won some, lost some. Winning, losing meant nothing to me. Nothing, because it was all about the mental fortitude and the experience of actually doing it. I had nothing to prove to anybody but myself. Would I actually step into a cage? They would lock the door behind me and I would fight another human being in a cage. Would I do that? Well, I told myself damn straight I'd do that. I got in. My body didn't have any problems with it, I'll be honest. My body didn't have any problems with it, and neither did my mind. So, boom, got into a cage and fought another human being. First time I got my ass beat. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I lasted about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, two and a half minutes at best. I don't really remember. That one is not on film. Unfortunately, I did not have a video camera at the time, and I don't know of anybody that filmed that, and it was not recorded. So my very first fight is not, as far as I know, not recorded. But I did get my ass beat. I got caught with an arm bar. And the best thing that ever happened to me for that first fight was getting my ass beat and getting caught by an arm bar. Because I told myself I would never get caught with an arm bar. No matter how long I was fighting in these cages, I would never get caught with another arm bar. And for the next year and a half, my focus was on defending the arm from arm bars. I mean, that was my, anytime I had a split second to train that's what I would train. And I never did get caught with another arm bar. As a matter of fact, I kind of got a little, maybe you can say cocky, or I got a little, I felt I was pretty good at it. We'll put it that way. I felt like I was okay. Now, I did get put into a couple situations where I purposely gave my arm because I knew what they were going to do. And I knew that when they tried the arm bar, it wasn't going to work and I was going to get out of it. And because they went for the arm bar, it would allow me to roll into a guard and get me in a better position. So a couple times I gave my arm up just for the purpose of getting out of something, and it worked every time. Again, was that a risk? Maybe it was. Did I feel like I was skilled enough and I had enough of knowledge, I had enough of wisdom, I had enough of ability and training to do that? I did feel that way. I really did. And it worked for me every time. So I'd have to say that, you know, that opinion turned out to be actual fact. So anyway, or you could say I got lucky. I guess you could say that too. But, you know, I've always found, I don't believe in luck. I don't think there's a such thing as luck. I really don't. But if luck exists, I would say that luck generally stands in the corner with the most prepared person. The most trained and prepared person generally gets the best luck. So, you know, take that for what you want. But anyway, mental fortitude is not 100%, but it is more than 75%. It was more than 75% of everything that I think anybody does in martial arts. Now, that's just my personal opinion. But for me, absolutely. The mental fortitude is what's given me the ability to do what I do. It's not my physical body. I would say it's not my training. It's not my experience, none of that. But part of the training and the experience that comes from that creates the mental fortitude. But I think mental fortitude is absolutely super important to anybody, especially combat fighters and combat sport people. That mental fortitude, that you are comfortable in dangerous situations, that you are aware of your situation, you are prepared. you just react. You don't need to think about anything. You don't need to prepare for anything. It is just there, and it always will be, as long as you always let it be. Now, to help let it be there, you have to continue to train. You have to continue to create this mental fortitude, and you have to maintain that attitude that you can do anything that you possibly want to do just because you say you can. And as long as you continue to feel that way, you can do it. Plain and simple. My body's trashed. My body is trashed. I'm not even kidding. Broken ankle. My left ankle's broken from, it still hurts constantly. I'm on tons of medications. Every joint I have. All right, let's just be completely honest. Every joint I freaking have hurts all the time. All the time. My left ankle generally hurts more than my right one does, because that was the one that got broke. I've had 2 knee surgeries so far due to fighting in cages and jumping out of airplanes. I have no meniscus in my left knee. I have very little to almost none in my right knee. Separated shoulder. My left shoulder's been separated. And here's a story for you. People say Aikido doesn't work. All right, we're gonna kind of jump a little bit, but track with me, you'll get it. People say Aikido doesn't work. Okay, I get that. For you, Aikido doesn't work. I'm okay with that. I've had plenty of experience on the mat. I've had plenty of experience in a cage. I've had plenty of experience in a ring. I've had plenty of experience on concrete out on the street. And I've said this before, probably too much out there. I've probably had more fights in the street than I probably really had to have. But nonetheless, the worst injury I've ever sustained, and this includes training and fighting in a cage for those years that I was a pro MMA fighter, including those. The worst injury I have ever sustained to myself was a training incident, and I'm not going to call it an accident because I'm a little iffy of whether it was an accident. A training incident in Aikido. I got my shoulder separated, and I mean jacked the fuck up. I was in a sling for 6 months. It still hurts, like it cracks. It makes these weird, if I move it right, you can see it pop out a little bit. It never did get fixed. I didn't have the money or the insurance at the time to get it fixed, so it never really got put back properly. They never did any surgery on it. And at this point, my left arm, legitimately, my left arm's like 3 inches longer than my right one now. And especially when the weather changes. I mean, I'm getting old anyway, but left shoulder is jacked up. My left and right knees are jacked up. My ankles are jacked up. Left one more than my right one. So the worst injury I ever received was a training incident with Aikido. Now, the worst injury I have ever given anybody in a real street fight. Now, in a cage, I don't know if this would consider to be worse. It might be worse. But one of my cage fights, I actually broke a guy's kneecap. It split in half and then moved to the side of his leg. So the doctor had to come in, grab it, squeeze it together, and then pop it back into the front of his knee. Yeah, and that was a long time. That was in the early 2000s, and to this day, as far as I know, he still wears a brace. So, anyways, that one might be on the list as well. But that wasn't a street incident. That was actually a competition. And I didn't do that on purpose. I did not do that on purpose. It just worked that way. The street incident, I can't honestly say I did it on purpose. But he got what he deserved. Anyway, I won't go into the details of what happened as far as the incident, but somebody decided to move in on me, and he didn't realize I was there. So I was acting as backup, basically, in this instance, and I was at his 40 on his right side. I was at his 45 on his right, and the guy that was in front of him that was actually trying to get him to stop, he thought, okay, well, this guy's in front of me. He didn't know I was back there. He turns around and just bolts. Well, he bolts right into me. I give him a koshi nage, which is a hip throw. It's an Aikido technique. And I put him on his back, his head, his ass, everything. Just flat slap. And even though it wasn't strictly Aiki, well, it was Aiki-jitsu, it just wasn't quite Aikido. I didn't just fluffy bunny him over and let him fall nicely and all that. No, I pow drived his freaking ass, and I landed on him, bam, as he hit the ground. It broke 3 of his ribs. He passed out, and he shit himself. All of that in a matter of a split second. We dragged him back in and process, all that kind of stuff. Went to prison for 3 years. Anyway, when he got out of prison, he came looking for me. Now, that's not uncommon for the work that I used to do. I used to have people come look for me all the time. But when he came in there, I didn't really recognize him. I honestly didn't know who he was. He told me who he was and introduced himself, and he thanked me. And I'm not shitting you at all. He thanked me. He told me I saved his life. He told me that because of what I did to him, he changed his life and he became a better person. And even to this day, it just warms my heart. It does. It warms my heart to know that, you know, he truly felt that I helped him. I didn't really do anything. I just beat the shit out of him. That's really all I did, in my point of view. That's all I did. He's the one that changed his life. He just, I guess, needed a good ass whooping to see the error of his ways, I guess, if you want to put it that way. I just happened to be the person to give it to him. That's all. So anyway, there's that, you know. So mental fortitude is everything. You know, you could be the most skilled person. Okay, here's another example. I'm just rambling at this point. Here's another great example. I know somebody that is, as far as point karate is concerned, point karate, the tappy, flippy, kick way high, and you know, that kind of stuff, and the wah, you know, that stuff. I know somebody who is so good at that. I mean, just a freaking expert, better than I would ever even dream of being, even if I wanted to be good at it. Okay, even if I wanted to be good at it. This guy is fantastic at it, and he never had to work to do it. Never. He just was good at it from day one. Day one, he was just perfection. It was just beautiful to watch. Luckily, I just never had the interest in it, but he did, and he never had to work an ounce to get it. He didn't. He was just naturally good at it. Well, I was never really good at any of this stuff. I mean, I was not naturally good at anything. Anything I ever wanted to do or to learn to do or to be able to do, I had to bust my ass to do it. I had to have mental fortitude and tell myself I was going to do it come hell or high water. He never had that. He just could do it. So, you know, why have to work at it if you can just do it? Well, the problem is he got bored. He didn't care. He just got bored and he quit. He never had mental fortitude. Never had mental fortitude. He still doesn't. Still doesn't have mental fortitude. There's nothing that I can think of, especially martial arts. Let's just stay with martial arts. He hasn't been in martial arts for 20 years maybe or more. Just no interest in it. Because he never had to work at it. He never had to have that mental capacity to force his body to do something that it couldn't do or didn't want to do. He never had the I'm going to learn how to do this because I don't know how to do it, or I'm not really good at it yet and I want to be good at it. He never had that. He was just always good at it. So I'm really glad I never had that, because I had to bust my ass to get everything that I learned, and I'm still doing it. To this day, I'm still doing it. And he just never really did get into it at all. So anyway, my battery's about ready to die. So thank you for listening to this. I'm sure I'll post it, because why not?